Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. It's afternoon already. So have you ever been on one side or the other of a case of mistaken identity? I think that happens probably to all of us at one time or another. I remember when I was in high school, my friend Mark and I kind of looked alike, and people would always mix us up. And years later, working as a restaurant manager, and almost everyone confused me with my coworker Matt, even though he was bald and had a big beard, and I was clean shaven with a full, thick head of hair at the time, believe it or not. But even here, sometimes people will call me Deacon Steve or even Father. But when we are mistaken for another person, we are in good company. Because Mary Magdalene has been the victim of mistaken identity for centuries. But usually when someone mistakes me for another person, it's someone whom I admire. But Mary Magdalene has often been mistaken for a prostitute. Ever since the 6th century, when Pope St. Gregory the Great identified her as the sinful woman in Luke's Gospel who anointed the feet of Jesus. Now, Gregory the Great is a doctor of the church, but he is mistaken with this interpretation. Because Mary is not a prostitute. Now, St. Luke does tell us that she had been possessed by 7 demons that Jesus cast out of her. And she responded with tremendous faith and generosity. And she became one of the women who supported Jesus and the apostles through her own resources. But more importantly, she was chosen by Jesus to be the very first witness of the resurrection. Think about that. For a brief moment in history, Mary Magdalene was the only person on earth that knew that Jesus had risen. And she didn't recognize him at first. She was overcome with grief. But when she did recognize him, she went immediately to tell everyone about it. And we can learn a couple of really important things from Mary Magdalene. First, she shows us that devoted women have joyfully proclaimed the good news of Christ Jesus with faith and fidelity from the very beginning. And second, she shows us that we want to recognize Jesus. It takes effort. We have to look for him. We have to look for him in the bread broken and shared. Look for him in the faces of those around us. Friends, loved ones, strangers. Look for him in a world that wants to look away. And so today, as we gather in this sacred place to share this sacred meal, let us be like Mary. Let us open our hearts and our eyes to the real presence of Jesus among us. And like Mary, let us go forth from here and announce the good news that he is alive.